Hi, I'm Dr. Cooley, and I'm going to give you a brief overview on how to progress towards gaining a squat. A lot of people have difficulty squatting. They can't get down on the ground, can't get themselves back up. It's a good sign of mobility, like ankle mobility, knee mobility, hip mobility, but it's also a sign of strength. You can have sometimes someone can be pretty flexible just looking at their joints, but you have them do a squat and they can't do it. Like they can put their palms on the floor, but they don't have enough stability in their pelvis and spine to drop down into a squat. The best way to think of a squat, like why we all should be able to do it, is it's a basic human movement that when we came out of the womb, we were already programmed to learn how to do the squat on our own. No one had to tell us how to do it. You watch a baby squat, they do it perfectly. And I'm just going to give you this quick overview on how to go through getting that motion back. So the first thing you want to do is just kind of see where you're at. So a good squat is basically, I'm going to stand here about hip width apart. My feet are slightly pointed out, and if I drop down towards the ground, I should be able to just kind of sit here comfortably all the way down. And if I do that from the side and I drop down and come back up, you can just see how my heels can stay on the ground. I don't have to bring my toes up, and my chest doesn't come like way forward. Sometimes if you watch someone, they'll come down into the squat and they'll end up looking like this. You want to be able to stay fairly upright and just drop right down into the squat. Okay? The easiest way to progress in this exercise is actually to use a heel lift. And you can start off, this is smaller than a 2x4, but probably the first progression that a lot of people could use is a 2x4. But this is probably about a 1x, and all you have to do is just place this underneath your heels. Using the heel lift does a lot more than just take care of a tight calf situation. It shifts your body weight forward, and it makes it a lot easier for you to get upright. So by using the heel lift, and I drop down, and you can probably see that even just doing this, it actually gets me a little bit more upright than without the heel lift. And if I come back up, and the nice thing about the heel lift is all you have to do is just keep changing the width of the heel lift to in order to progress. So start off with a 2x4. If that's really easy for you to get into the squat position, then just make it a little bit smaller and just keep making it a little bit smaller and smaller. And you'd be surprised, even just something as small as a 1/2 centimeter can sometimes be the difference between someone getting into a comfortable squat and not being able to do it at all. So that's the first thing as far as progressing. Progression that we're going to use in our Learn How to Squat series here is use the doorway. Now at my office here I got these pocket doors, but you can just use just a regular bedroom door, and in fact that's probably a little bit easier. But what the purpose of using this doorway is to keep you upright so you don't fall forward, and you can also just kind of use that door handles to give you a little bit of support. So you can think of the heel lift as the first step, and then use this doorway as kind of the next progression. So if I'm standing here, I'm going to line up so that obviously the closer I get to the doorway, the more that's going to make me stay upright as I drop down into the squat. So I'm going to get right up on this doorway, and if I was using like a normal bedroom door or something, I can hold onto the handles here. I can even just place my hands just like this, and I'm going to stand here and drop down into the squat. And I can even bring my arms forward and come back up. And what someone would notice is if they did 10 squats, even someone that can squat well or squat without using a heel lift, say they did 10 squats just normal, then you had them do 10 squats in the doorway making sure they stayed nice and upright, the doorway squats are going to be a lot harder. They're going to burn that person's muscles out much quicker. But that's the next progression to use. The last exercise we'll do in this squat series is called the goblet squat. And the easiest way to do a goblet squat is to use a kettlebell. And I'm just gonna grab, this is a 16K kettlebell, and you want to grab the kettlebell by the horns. And what this does is it basically, kind of similar to the heel lift, it brings your weight forward a little bit, so it makes it a little bit easier so you're not like falling backwards towards your butt. And same type of thing, if I'm holding this kettlebell here and I'm just gonna drop down into the squat, and you can see how upright I can get by being in this position. And it's good to kind of even just hang out down here and just kind of open up those hips, and then you can come back up. So that's a good progression, and you can also throw some. It's a way to throw some weight or some load into the exercise, but you can notice how the mobility also improves when you load that movement. So for some people that can actually already do a two-legged squat pretty well, they might not realize that you can use these same progressions to get a one-legged squat. So same type of thing, like one-legged squat, if I came on here, it's gonna be a lot easier with a heel lift than without. So with the heel lift, I can sit here and drop down in and come back up. The doorway is a great way to do the one-legged squat, and you can really kind of help you find your balance by using the doorway. And even the goblet squat is a nice progression for that one-legged squat, but it's basically, if you really want to take that to the next level, you kind of start over again with the heel lift and some other training exercises that can help you progress to that one-legged squat.